Welcome back in, everybody. As we get started for the second series, it is going to be HYDRA versus HellRaisers. HellRaisers, as we know, sitting at the top of the table here, 4-0 here, 8-1 in terms of games won and lost. So on a proper streak and looking incredibly good. It only dropped that one game over to one move. Meanwhile, on the side of HYDRA, there has been potential for some giant killing action to come through. They took it close with Spirit. They've already beaten Darkseid and Navi there as well. So Hydra looking to knock Hellraisers off their perch at the top of the table and hurry. Thoughts coming into this series. Is there anything we should be looking out for?
I kind of want to look at the mid lane, right? Because Warwick has been this hit and miss type of player, right? Hit or miss, sorry. And on the other side, Kiyotaka for me has been the standout performer for, I'd say for the even Tour 1 and Tour 2 now. Because Tour 1, he was the reason that the Hellraisers went to the major. He is the one that performed well there as well. Now in this Tour 2, he's doing even better. So he's kind of the new up-and-coming star of the entire region. And Warwick also up-and-coming star, just not as consistently good as Kiyotaka. So I want to look at that mid lane and how it's gonna develop. I feel like if Warwick today drops the ball, if he's not at the top of his game, that Hellraisers are gonna destroy Hydra. But if Warwick is feeling good today, he gets his good heroes in, then we could be seeing a close series.
Yeah, and I like that when Ramses moved into Hellraisers, there was that potential for Ramses to say, right, I'm the carry, I'm going to be this big impact player. I'm going to pick all the big impact heroes. I'm going to be going for that position 1 farm. And, they've adapted, or Ramses is coming in, he's adapted to how it was playing under with the hack as the carry, where, the position 1 isn't necessarily the focus point for getting all the farming, creating space for. He's playing this, it's not really sacrificial, but he's playing this space creating carry role. We've seen it with the Dragon Knights coming out. That seems to be his most popular hero at the minute, and Ramses, it's not that he's tried to make this team adapt around him. He's really blended into how Hellraisers were playing in their game plan anyway, and it's paying off massively in Tour 2.
Yeah, I mean, Ramses, big ego, but there is this one guy who kind of brought him into the scene, pretty much took him in when he wasn't all that great and made one of the biggest players in the world from him, and that is the captain of Hellraisers, right? So these guys have won, I think, 6 majors together. So five. Okay,
yeah, it was a Reddit post the other day that if they go to the major and they win this next major, they will have won, between the two of them, they'll have won the most majors out of any of the professional players in the scene.
Yeah, so overall, these two guys, they know each other. They know how to play with each other, and they probably know how to deal with each other. And then Solo comes in. He has been doing a really good job at drafting with Hellraisers. I think that's the difference between Hellraiser's Spirit and Bedboom. Bedboom are just not that adept at drafting as well as Team Spirit and Hellraisers are, who I would argue, in the world, they're also top-notch in terms of drafting, right? But, and if Solo adjusts the drafts and actually does have a lineup behind him to play well, it's going to be amazing. And one good thing about all of the Hellraisers players, especially the cores, is that they are very flexible. They can play a wide variety of heroes up to a decent level. So I'm a big fan, So props to them. I'm really looking forward to seeing Hellraisers throughout the season here. If they win this one, they're most likely going to the major, maybe even 99%, So it is going to be really fun to see them on the international stage with a lineup like this when they're not changing a carry before they step up on the stage.
Yeah, if they win this one, like you say, it's 99% because that means then they've got a game against Spirit and they've got one up against Navi. So they'd be 5-0, and there's only 3 other teams below Spirit and Hellraisers that can contest because being on the 2-2. And in fact, if Hellraisers win this one, take one of those competitors out, which would be HYDRA, who are sitting on 2-2 at the minute. So it would be pretty much securing them. It wouldn't be certain, but it'd be pretty close to getting that major slot. And yeah, coming through here, meanwhile, the side of HYDRA, they picked up the slot, they picked up the Crystal Maiden. So that is a really nice safe lane to be coming up against the Broodmother, but there will be a Rubik here as well. So the telekinesis pullback on the Slark after he gets the bounce off for that save onto the Broodmother. I mean, we saw how the Slark did all right against the Broodmother in the last series, and coming in with the Crystal Maiden now in the safe lane, how do you think this lane's going to go coming up against the Brood and the Rubik?
I mean, it's the same as the Lich lane. The problem is that this time around, the Broodmother doesn't have a clockwork, but it has a Rubik, right?
Yeah.
So he's constantly going to be poking you. And now the Techies ban, not only is it one of the Antares' best hero, but it makes a lot of sense because Broodmother Techies deals with the Slark really well because you constantly poke with 700 range. Some people might not know Techies is the highest range hero in the game, not counting the take aim of the sniper. But so he can poke the Slark. Slark can never be full HP. He can never constantly commit on the Broodmother with the Rubik. It's a little bit less so of the same thing, right? So definitely not going to be easy to go forward, and you don't have a Lich to protect you. You have a Crystal Maiden. So this is going to be a close lane that could go either way.
Yeah, and we see the bans coming through as well. Like you're talking about the Techies, the Lash has gone the Puck on the other side. It's going to be the Pango, the Disruptor, the Beastmaster, and the Storm. So, again, like we were talking about, the Undying not been touched from either side just yet, but it is still in the draft. But yeah, the Disruptor and the Rubik, incredibly popular. The Pangolier, again, one of those heroes that teams do like to pick up. So in the second phase, it is ban worthy. The Storm Spirit looking like the strongest mid laner in the game at the minute, at least in the Eastern European region. Which it's a crazy swing, right? Half a patch ago, because it wasn't even really being touched in Tour 1. It wasn't really that popular before Christmas either. So for it to have that little bit of a swing in the patch notes, that coming right back in now, being one of those favorite mids, I suppose it helps that the other mid laners got nerfed into the ground as well.
Of course. That's the main thing about it, right? When some of the other ones, the main ones, Pango, Tusk, when they get taken out, suddenly you have to think about the next best option, and Storm Spirit definitely does feel that go into that one quite nicely. Works well with the Falcon Blade, works well with the Witchblade. Those are kind of the top items currently. So it does make sense that the hero is going to be favored. But you can see that HellRaisers, they are targeting Warwick. They don't want him to have a good game right now. And they're making sure that they take away his good heroes. And I think this is the right approach. If you're gunning for a victory, a fast victory, and I think HellRaisers are, you need to make sure that Warwick doesn't have a good time. The rest of HYDRA are usually very consistent, but it is Warwick that makes those plays that enable Kami or drops the ball, and then HYDRA don't look so good.
Yeah, and you're expecting here, mid lane wise, if this next ban to come out, a HYDRA just picking this next hero, is that going to be the mid laner to make sure there's no more options taken away from Warwick?
It's tough one to say. They didn't do that. They would maybe flex something, if you remember their Monkey King flex and stuff like that, But overall, they haven't been known to pick his hero early. They would usually do it later on. But if they would want to pick something early, I guess it would be an Invoker on the 4th pick of their draft. That is something I would expect, but not a lot of his heroes are really left in the pool, to be honest.
Yeah, HellRaisers, maybe going to Pro Tracker here, taking a look around, see what they want to be banning up against Warwick, because like you say, they are just targeting him with this second phase set of bans. And what really is left? You talked about the Invoker, the Batrider might not be a bad one for him to get in the mid lane. Okay, they take away the Wisp.
Okay, that does make sense. That is a hero that would do really well with the Slark, and that would enable Warwick if he would go for something like a Lesh. Okay, Lesh is banned out, but something that might have some mana issues or might get dove. The Wisp does help you there. So they don't want to allow HYDRA to enable their cores, right? And I think that's a pretty decent approach. When you look at HellRaisers, their ability to go behind the lines and kill the Wisp is pretty much non-existent. So at least currently, so you would not want to deal with it. And then the Crystal Maiden could be put in the position 4 role, or in the offlane might still be a position 5. And the Wisp plus the Slark, well, that is a lane that Rubik will not be able to harass the Slark enough, or not as much as the Wisp will be healing him.
Cupid Light comes out. Right. We've seen this being played mid, coming through at the end of Tour 1, coming through some of the third-party tournaments as well. Cupid Light is effectively at the minute a mid hero, right? Or do you want to be jamming this in the 4 slot? Because it is a flex, but coming up against, maybe even, I suppose you do. You build up as a mid, right? So when the Broodmother hits that power spike, you have a way to get the deep push off with the Illuminate. Good in the fights. You've got the drawing as well from the Will of the Wisp. So more than likely the 2.
I don't know. It has only been played once, and I kind of have it in the back of my head that it was played as a support, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing it more and more as a support recently. The OD comes through, which I'm very surprised that a HYDRA let through. Because, first of all, it's a good catch for the keeper. If it's a mid keeper, you catch him, you drop the meteor hammer on him, he's dead, right?
Yeah.
But also, it is Kiyotaka's best hero, the one that he's just thriving on, and you have a Slark. Slarks are known to get bursted down by him quite a lot. So I'm scared for Kami.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like you say, this OD is going back 3, 4, maybe even right back to last season on in the DPC, going 3 or 4 tours back. OD has always been this hero that Kiyotaki, rebranding as well from the press kit. So maybe that's why HYDRA couldn't find the stats on it. But yeah, Kiyotaka absolutely loves this hero, and coming through into the game, you give him his most comfortable hero. It's a tower pusher. You've got control coming out from the Astro as well. Well, tower pusher if he gets the meteor hammer, which he more than likely will do. I don't see a set of items where the OD doesn't want to go for the meteor hammer. Meanwhile, the Jakiro comes out as well. Great on towers with the liquid fire, pushing out lanes as well with a dual breath. So this is looking like HellRaisers now. In terms of the lineup, they've got a lot of push, they've got a lot of fight potential. I'd just like to see HellRaisers. Does Ramses actually go back for something like the DK in the safe lane?
I don't know, but you need something to deal with the Lycan, DK, Sven, whatever. Because right now, other than laning phase-wise, the Jakiro crushes the Lycan, right? But later on in the game, these heroes on HellRaisers, they are really bad against the Lycan. Broodmother hates playing against heavy physical damage. OD hates playing against heavy physical damage that gets in your face. And I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that one. Plus, if it is a Keeper 4, which it might be, he's very good at securing that the lane goes solid for the Lycan. Jakiro will not be able to harass you enough because the lane is always going to be pushed in. So I'm liking this one. HYDRA, they did their homework in terms of draft, and their lineup is not easy to execute, but there's a lot of merit to it. You just run forward, right? And then you have these squishy heroes that you're just going to be ripping apart.
10 seconds remaining.
What do you think they're going to go for this last pick then? Is it going to be something, because you don't really want to play the Invoker into the OD, I don't think. Would you want to go for something that can play away, get more physical damage as well, and get like the sniper in this draft?
That is a tough one. I kind of feel like now when I see these OD, I'd rather put the Keeper in the mid lane, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it feels. But then on the other hand, the position 4 Keeper, even though he's not great at making the Lycan stronger, the Lycan doesn't struggle in mana or doesn't need any of his cooldowns refreshed.
5 seconds remaining.
You do secure the lane against the Jakiro. But I think HYDRA, they're probably keeping it open. On the other hand, though, as you mentioned, not a lot of heroes that do too well against the OD. Though I'm very much surprised that HellRaisers just banned out the Ember Spirit, because that would be the one that, the OD would do well against.
Yeah, they ban out the Batrider there as well. So, what's this? About 4 or 5 out of the bans all targeted towards Warwick. And the Baron's going to be the next one. The Night Stalker comes out. I really do like this hero. Yeah. Up against the Lycan, he wants to go to the Helm of the Overlord, but you've got the Night Stalker, who's got the active now on the Hunter of the Night, going to be able to consume whatever the Lycan brings to the fight, and it is going to be the Invoker here for HYDRA. So yeah, Warwick sticking with the favorite. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to go for Ramses, especially playing it in that pause 1 role as well. How different the build is going to be for potentially getting straight towards that Ags and getting yourself involved and getting into these fights.
I'm loving the HellRaisers lineup. This lineup of HellRaisers, it does need you to execute to a really strong level, but when you look at the Night Stalker, great counter to a Lycan, great counter to a Slark. Crystal Maiden, Keeper of the Light, these heroes have nothing to contribute in this game once he uses his ulti, right? Yeah. The second they are seen, that's the second that they're dead, and I'm expecting Kiyotaka to get a fast blink in this game. Maybe like Meteor Hammer, Blink, BKB. Might be the build, or he just goes for a straight up blink. That is something that he was known to do. And then Night Stalker gives vision, and you just go in for the cleanup crew. So yeah. I'm scared for HYDRA, I have to be honest, because I saw this Lycan, it was amazing, but you forgot to ban out the Night Stalker, and Ramses has been shown to play these kind of carries that work out, and now you have a defense for your teammates with the Night Stalker. But on the other hand, HYDRA, they went for the Invoker. If the Tornado doesn't connect, if it doesn't keep the enemies away, you're all getting ran down.
Yeah, and Night Stalker, like you were talking about, if you can get like a good blink BKB time in here as well, the Invoker doesn't really want to be forced into that first item BKB, but the Night Stalker being able to get on top of him with the crippling fear, just being able to start him off and you take away. I think at level 4 crippling fear in the nighttime, something like a 7-second silence. So. We'll see how this one's going to play, guys. HellRaisers coming through on the Dire side. But first, we do have a quick word from our sponsors over at EGB. Check it out.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600. Cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
So, coming right back into it as we get ourselves into game number 1 here. Yeah, you were talking about as well the Night Stalker, the 2 supports on the side of HYDRA. They have to be really careful. I'm expecting 4 staffs for both of them to come out early because if the Night Stalker gets on top of you, especially in the nighttime with the Hunter of the Night, he's just going to be able to chase you down and eat you up. So, how do HYDRA now, what's the game plan around this Night Stalker pick, do you think?
Run towards him. Always be the ones that are forcing out his ulti. If it's HellRaisers on your side of the map, he pops the ulti, starts running to you, immediately sees you, you're gone. You have to be the one running forward. Let's say you get the frostbite on him, he pops his ulti, then you give a hero, you run away, you reset, and you be fast on the map when he doesn't have his ulti. That is how you play. And luckily for HYDRA, that's what their lineup wants to do. They're very fast in pushing out the waves. Their supports can do it, their cores can do it. They can split push with the units, and then it does allow you to play the map, but slow it down and allow HellRaisers to start claiming territory with the Brood on one side and slowly creeping in with the vision of the Night Stalker. You're gonna be in a ton of trouble.
The battle begins.
Yeah, so we'll see just exactly how they're going to try here. You can see Solo already trying to contest onto Leffington. Leffington was able to get himself in, wasn't able to snatch that bounty rune though, and the Wolf coming into Solo. So Leffington, can he get himself away from this one? Because Jakiro, okay, he's not going to chase onto it, and Leffington might be able to back himself away. And it seems like the Observer as well done the sensible thing. They mute from the get-go onto Leffington.
He has a billion movement speed, and Jakiro is, feels like he is kind of levitating more so than flying. So it is really no chance for him to get on top of the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, and you can see already that Cloud trying to come into this lane. He's going to lose one Wolf right off the bat. And it's just, again, it's going to be so much harder because do you expect the Night Stalker here? We see the odds as well. HellRaisers coming under the favourites, and HYDRA, again, they've had a good showing in the series that they have played. Not able to close a couple of them out, but they have looked good. But coming in close, but not quite close enough to HellRaisers. But yeah, Ramses, do you expect him to go for this shard as soon as it's up to try and deal with the Helm of the Dominator, Helm of the Overlord timing that comes out from the Lycan?
Yeah, Armlet Shard is usually the build on a carry Night Stalker, even if there was a time where it wasn't about the Beastmaster, but every single time you would see a carry Night Stalker, it would be the exact same build, because it allows you to farm and it allows you to survive for a very long time in fights as well.
Yeah. And a 20-second cooldown as well. It's really nice to be having around these fights, especially when the Wolves are coming in. Even during the daytime, if you can't take down that Ancient, just be able to take down the Wolves. It's a big tool that you take away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Banish comes out here. The OD onto Warwick, and Warwick going to be suffering. He's lost 213 mana, and that's mana with... I don't know how recent the change was, but you don't get that back, right? That's just mana that's just gone now.
I know that change was implemented for the Undying. I'm not sure if that was the case for the OD.
I'm sure. I'd have to look at the wiki, something like. I'm sure that's just mana that's just gone now. And I think it came before the Undying change.
It says mana steal duration 30.
Well, let's see. I mean, once this ticks off, we'll see if it's going to come back. Solo, though, on the top lane, up against Cloud and Leffington. Trying to do his best to get disrupting here, Leffington. Bottom lane as well. Kami's going to be taking a lot of pressure coming out, but the Slark, turn around. Again, the Fader Bolt comes out from the Rubik, and yeah, this is just mana gone from the Invoker. The Slark gets Fader Bolted by the Rubik, so even if he gets the pounce in, and then a Telekinesis comes out, drags him away from Mayro. So Mayro having a really good time on this lane of the Brood, and again, level 3, he hits that point in Insatiable Hunger, and the Sustain is out for the Brood Mother, so really hard to fight into HYDRA in this lane.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them, right? They had this idea how to play the Slark CM, but the thing is, this is no longer Division 2, right? And here, HellRaisers are gonna do everything right. Of course, once the Slark hits like level 4, that is when things become better for him, but it don't become better for the Crystal Maiden per se, right? She is the strongest at her level 2, and they haven't been able to utilize this timing. Thus, their lane is just not gonna be working out as intended.
Yeah, while that's going on, there is a bit of disruption in the mid lane from Warwick. You know, throwing out the tornadoes, the EMPs as well onto the OD. So the OD, he's going to be taking some punishment. He's going to be out of mana here as well. Not enough for that Astral. He doesn't have a way to regen it out just yet either, because the Void Stone still going to be about 200 gold away. So he is looking for the Essence Flux, you know, as well as this Arcane Orb to try and do the damage in the lane. But no control. He does have the mana back now for the Astral, and it comes out almost immediately.
Yeah, well, that's why the Arcane Orb is just percentage-based mana, so you're always going to be able to get the Essence Flux to proc at some point. So overall, though, looking at the laning phase, HellRaisers are crushing it. Even in this lane where the Lycan is, right, they are still doing so well because Jakiro was able to apply so much pressure. Speaking of which, it's not going to stop.
No, they just carry on coming in now as well. Again, the Liquid Fire, the Dual Breath comes out onto Cloud. You've got the Void coming out from Ramsey as well for the slowdown. He's going to go down, and that is first blood. And I like this as well. You see the Night Stalker. He was... before that gank, before he got that second point into the Void, he's just holding his points. He's not sure where he wants to put them just yet, how active he's going to be at the night time. So he was just, the only thing he'd done was, he did was put a point into the Void, and when he saw how low the Lycan was, puts that second point in, and all of a sudden now, that's a quick kill onto Cloud.
They were mostly waiting for the phase boots, because then the wolves cannot do anything to you. HellRaisers, they're not stopping with the aggression. They're going towards the bottom lane as well. They might not catch anyone, but they're making the enemies use their spells, use their mangoes, and then once the reset comes, you can go in again.
Yeah, and you look at how we've shifted off the last hits, but in the off lane for HellRaisers, Broodmother is on 21 last hits, 9 denies. You've got Slark on 14 last hits, no denies. So that says everything you want to see. You look at the net worth graph as well. I know 5 minutes in, we sound incredibly doom and gloom, but HellRaisers are looking to control this game from the laning stage, and it's already showing now that they're having a great time. Telekinesis comes out onto Happy, and Happy, he has to watch out that he's not going to be a feast for the Broodmother.
Though the second you started talking about no denies on the Slark, Kami proved you wrong and denied the range creep. So joke's on you there, because he's not playing around. 6 minutes in, he's a carry. He's gonna have at least one deny. But considering that the Brood has, or the Night Stalker has 3,000 net worth and Slark is not even at 2k. It just goes to show how catastrophically the laning stage is going, and actually how well HellRaisers are playing, because these lanes, on paper, they can win, right? But they don't necessarily have to. But that just means that those little things, those movements, the little ones on the map, you have done well. And also, Antara, speaking about movements on the map, he's going mid for Warwick.
Yep, Telekinesis comes in now as well. Warwick can get himself away from this one. We've got the Astral Imprisonment coming out. The rotation, the TP into the mid lane, though. He drops the Silence's Eclipse. Does he go down? No, he's in the Ghost form. Going to be able to walk himself away. Happy has to get himself away from the Meteor because he doesn't want to go extinct. It does land on the tower there as well, but both heroes on the side of HYDRA will be able to back themselves away. Warwick with 3 points as well into the Quas, so he's got those regen orbs to get himself back up to a decent amount of health. A Tango passed over from Happy, and that was so close, but Kiyotaka not able to secure the kill.
Invoker as a hero prides himself on his intelligence, so if someone by stealing your int would be able to completely destroy your mind and make you go insane, well, that would kind of be a bad thing for his all talk about him being a genius. So Invoker does survive there, just has enough mana or intelligence to survive the Sanity's Eclipse damage, and of course the Rubik is not gonna have any sentries or dusts at that point.
No, and yeah, not able to get that kill. It looks like as well that the Invoker going towards a Meteor Hammer of his own. So, if he's going to be able to get the catch, the EMP's coming out with the tornadoes, the cold snaps, it is going to be some good setup potential. But Kiyotaka, at least in the mid lane, Kiyotaka is going to be able to save himself with the Astral if that's what he wants to go to, trying to avoid those Meteor Hammers. So, it is going to be interesting to see how Warwick plays around this, as he's picked his up now as well. So, both mid lane heroes going towards that, and we'll see if Warwick, if he's even going to rotate off and try and apply some pressure with this item. Top lane, Leviton.
Bye-bye. He can. They cannot get close to this lane. They lost during daytime. Now it's finally time for the vampire to start feasting on his enemies. And if you come close, the thing is that you can't even stay too far back on the lane. First of all, they have a ward, but second of all, night vision of the Night Stalker is just so long, and you are you're not getting close to him. So Cloud is doing what he can. He's pulling the waves back to get any kind of farm here in the top lane.
Yeah, and it is actually going to be a Radiance here for the Night Stalker as well. So wanting to get some... Yeah, I suppose if you're going to be in the middle of these fights with the Slurk, you know, with Cloud, with the Wolves and whatever else is there, the miss chance is going to be pretty nice, being able to burn them away while you're in the middle of the chaos as well. So it is a really nice item, and again, the change to the cost, it means it's going to come up just that little bit quicker as well.
I mean, Ramses is the type of guy, he likes an item and he buys it on everyone. It used to be a Midas
yeah.
A year ago, now it's the Radiance.
Okay, we're going to see the Hunter Knight combined here with the darkness coming through from the Night Stalker for that movement speed, for, you know, the flying movement as well. They might be able to get the kill. They are going to be able to take down the Jakiro, but trade it off immediately, that Fade Vault as well. They get the kill into Cloud, and the rotation. I mean, you look at this is 4 heroes here for the side of HYDRA, one being taken down, and it just creates a space. Kiyotaka doesn't need to move himself over. Will be able to secure this tier 1 tower, and in fact, did he get the kill into left hand as well? Leftyton, one more right click. The Night Stalker will be able to pick it up.
It's actually kind of scary how well HellRaisers are playing.
Yeah, and
they have an idea of how they want to even bottom.
Yeah, but Mero chasing down to Kami. Kami's going to use that Dark Pack, you know, but he has to use the Shadow Dance, the rotation in. Kiyotaka was off. There's the Astral, there's the Sanities, and there's the Corpse.
I don't know. This is just looking insane. They are pressuring the top lane. Antares is pulling the creeps. You have 3 heroes. You're surrounded by 2 heroes. You still lose. You have actually 4. You're surrounded by 2. You lose 1, right? You get a trade.
Yeah.
Then Kiyotaka is taking the mid lane. Immediately he's rotating to the bottom. They are so fast because they know what to do, but they're just so clean in execution.
Yeah, I know. And you take a look here again in the mid lane. Are they going to be able to get themselves on top of Warwick? It is going to be daytime now.
Dire are scanning.
The dive onto Kami. Kami could get himself away from this. The damage going through.
That's how
Tornado will connect. There are going to be 3 heroes. Yeah, the Meteor Hammer will drop. And that's going to be the death of the Brood Mama. But yeah, the rotation comes in. EMP, but the Meteor Hammer does get dropped. Kiyotaka can get himself away from this one. As the Macro Pie, the Liquid Fire, the Dual Breath, it's all going to be dropped. And Warwick, he's going to be taking low. But there is going to be 4 heroes down here from the side of HYDRA trying to chase down Kiyotaka, taking a lot of punishment. He has that Astral up. Do you have the vision? They do. They have that ward on the cliff and the Observer ward. It might be the opening that they need. Loses the Courier, but still gets his boots. As Leftyton, can he get himself away? Antares as well as Solo. They are starting to put pressure. The Ice Path, he doesn't connect onto Warwick. So that will still be the Meteor Hammer to connect. The pouncing by Kami, and Warwick will get the kill. But it is only going to be the Rubik that goes down there. 5-3 and a 5k net worth lead coming out from HellRaisers. And HYDRA, they've got a whole load of catching up to do.
I hope Solo has a ton of respect for his teammates, because at that point they'd be like, how the hell can you miss it? He's standing his ground and casting a Meteor Hammer. Like, how the hell can you miss that one? But yeah, it does happen even to the best of us. And Solo there, well, he might be the responsible one for the Rubik going down.
Yeah, I mean, Tornado, it's actually going to connect onto Solo. Did they actually go for even more onto this? They're going to try and come in with the Cold Snap. EMP as well onto Solo. Solo turns back into
the back line.
Does he want to go to the back team? You've got Mero. He's just diving in. He's getting those spider lanes going. And you get the kill onto Leftyton again. And look at this. HYDRA having to send 2 supports and the mid laner just to protect Kami. And while this is going on, you've got your 2 supports, your off laner on the side of HYDRA. Meanwhile, Kiyotaka in the mid lane finding farm. And Ramsey's absolutely uncontested in this game. He's having, I think he's got his Radiance up, or he's close to. Yeah, he's about 200 gold away from completing onto this. And meanwhile, Kami, every time he tries to get into the jungle to farm, he's just being met by more and more resistance from HellRaisers.
I would just like to ask Ramses, does he get a little bit bored sometimes? Because what has been happening with HellRaisers when he's playing like these DKs and such and going for the Radiance is that for the first 20 minutes, he just farms. He's nowhere to be found, and then he just comes out as the strongest guy and destroys all of them. Is kind of the idea of I'm gonna crush them and being happy about it, keeping him sane during these times.
Listen, Oh, they might be able to get a final to Warwick now as well with this Hunter of the Night and the darkness coming through. He's going to be able to get himself on top, silence it off with the Crystal Maiden now as well. One more right click, and Ramses will be able to take him down. The Radiance comes through Warwick with that TPO, and it reveals any magic nodes. So there's a good change target onto Leffington, and Leffington Ramses, he is 5-0-1 in 13 minutes. And yeah, this is the thing that you were talking about, his AFK farm, but you know, Diablo 4, it's close. The beta's out, so he has to get that PvE practice in, and it's just going amazingly for him here now, Ramses.
It's looking great, and you know, daytime comes, you would say, okay, Night Stalker now will farm not really fast. With the Radiance, he will actually farm pretty fast with this hero, yeah. So this is looking better and better for HellRaisers. You know, we can sing the praise songs here, and for a good reason, because they are crushing it. Speaking of crushing.
Oh, Kami. That is just, I mean, it's not even like he's caught out of position. No, it's not. I mean, if you want to make it one, you are the noise man after all. What was the timing on the glimpse again?
Not gonna be talking about that one any longer. We already taught our entire audience how to dodge the glimpse and what cues to use. But overall, yeah, HellRaisers is continuing to do well. Every single lane they're pressuring, and this is the thing that I was afraid of if it does come to it, when HellRaisers are controlling every part of the map. If HYDRA do have the levels and don't have this much of a deficit, you can run forward. The CM is good when you're chasing forward, but neither the Keeper, neither the CM, none of these heroes are good when they are behind, and that is the downside of HYDRA's lineup. That building back from this deficit, it's gonna take a lot of time and possibly some unforced errors from HellRaisers, who, well, they have been playing perfectly, so good luck with that.
Yeah, I get the idea behind the Keeper of the Light pick. You know, it's a nice position for it. Can find the farm in the jungle where it's getting space. As Kami comes right back in to give that pounce away now as well. Mero, does he want to chase down? The Ice Path comes out now as well from Solo. Was that dual breath into the Macropire? Maybe, yeah, the Macropire gets dropped and Happy's going to go down. Kami has to run himself through it as well to get himself away. And again, not even really being caught out of position here. He's just past his tier 2 tower. And the pressure of this offlane, the two supports are creating so much space. Just Leffington on the top lane. They're looking for Ramses. Ramses, though, it is nighttime. Going to be able to go for the flying movement as well in that darkness. And he's just going to be able to maybe go for the wraparound as well. And that shard not too far away for the Night Stalker. So he's going to be able to take away this Ancient that comes out for the Lycan when he gets it. I mean, the Helm of the Dominator is going to be there anyway. So even during the daytime, Night Stalker will still be able to take away this Dominated creep.
Yeah, he doesn't have the full thing just yet, and he's thinking about not getting it, to be honest, and for a good reason. And while he's on the top lane, while they can't do anything to pressure him even a little bit, look at what HellRaisers are doing. They're on the other part of the map. They're effectively controlling like 70% of the map, and that's why the lead is increasing more and more, and now some heroes are going to die.
Yeah, that's going to be the death of Happy. Happy's not going to be super happy with that rotation in. I was talking about the Keeper of the Light, you know, great at dealing with the Broodmother, great at, well, with the Spiderlings, your position 4 that can find some farm, some push potential as well. If he's given that solo lane, like in the mid lane or in the safe lane, once the carry wants to move into the jungle. But yeah, as soon as they forget to ban that OD and that comes out, you know, it just puts a massive dent in the game plan of HYDRA, and you can see that how Kiyotaka is controlling this. Just create space for the rest of his team. Antares going to get low, but does he go down here as the rotation comes in from Mero? There is going to be the Ghost Walk coming out from Warwick as Leffington gets taken down by Kiyotaka. So the OD once again showing the impact that it's had, and yeah, again, just looking so, the execution for HellRaisers looking so clean.
It's looking amazing. The thing is, when your Invoker is the same level as the enemy Rubik, your ability to get kills is not there. Crystal Maiden, Invoker, Keeper, they all rely on experience to be able to do damage. And Mero, now once the Guardian Greaves are out, not even the Cold Snap can be a problem for him.
No, true. The Spylins might be cleaned up a little bit as well. Kami's got himself a double damager and looking to find that farm. Looking to take a couple of the Spylins down. But yeah, in the end, he is still stuck. I mean, you've got the protection coming in from Warwick as well. Because your entire area of the map that you're being given, and I say being given by HellRaisers, because that exactly what's happening. HellRaisers are controlling about 3/4 of this map, and most of that map that you're being given is your high ground that HellRaisers aren't taking away from you just yet.
Some big items are coming out from HYDRA though, so let's not write them off just yet. They have a Witchblade on the Invoker, so that's gonna contribute in damage, right? Considering that you're this far ahead in both levels and gold, if you give a couple of kills, at least those levels are gonna be going towards HYDRA. But look at this. Yeah, I really love this. They just walk into the pit because they know 5 versus 5, their ability, well, HYDRA's ability to win a fight is non-existent.
It is limited here as the jump comes out. The telekinesis, they take down Warwick, that Hunter in the Night, the crippling fear. After already tries to get off the frost, he just needs to, he needs to, well, float himself away from the danger. And how are we looking in terms of, it's going to be the urn into the Spirit Vessel on the Keeper of the Light. Happy will be going towards that 4-staff, but yeah, free Roshan, and even a bonus kill on the Invoker here for HellRaisers. HYDRA, they've got some catching up to do here.
That's genius. HYDRA finally gets some items that might allow them to get some kills. I'm not saying that those kills necessarily win you the game, but maybe they give you a little bit more time for HellRaisers to make a mistake or something. But the thing is, at that point, when you feel like, okay, they've gotten their items, but 5 versus 5, they're still weaker, you force the 5 versus 5, or you just walk into the door, get it for free, and as mentioned, you get a free kill as well. And now again, they're just outmaneuvering HYDRA over and over again with Cloud dying, and I mean, Night Stalker easily left at the top lane.
Yeah, just walked back a little bit out of vision, TP'd himself away, going towards that BKB here now as well. The Radiance, again, being able to deal with the Wolves in the fights. He's got himself the shard as well, so even if there was the Overlord on the like, which is not, they're still the Dominator, but those creeps just going to be taken away, and you see the odds here, 19 minutes into the game, and it's a 10-1 nearly for HYDRA, as HellRaisers looking to push down tier 2s, looking to stack themselves up, and at least they're getting some space for the Slark to find some farm up, going straight towards the Ags, it looks like, after the Echo Saber, but he's still going to be about 4,000 gold behind the Night Stalker.
Also, HellRaisers did buy a gem now, so they're gonna have that one as well, the ability to take over the division of the enemies, right? HYDRA, so far, they've had solid wards around the map, but they haven't really been able to utilize those for a good reason. They really just don't have the power.
Yep, the Meteor Hammers, I think was actually the Invokers, trying to deal with the Spiderlings as well as Lefton with the Illuminate Blast, but it just moves them away, and now Spiderlings move themselves back in, slowly but surely. There's tier 2 tower, another round of attacks, it will go down, and Kiyotaka is going to be the one that claims it. So, HellRaisers, they are letting the Slark have the other side of the map, because they're saying this Radiant side, this is ours now.
Everything is theirs that they want to be theirs, but HYDRA, luckily, they have heroes that can move solidly fast around the map. Invoker, Keeper, and the Slark. So they can dodge, right? You always have this ability to run away from your opponents. Of course, the lead is going to be increasing because of that one, but it would be even worse if you go for a fight.
Yeah, and we'll see here, I mean, the Broodmother just looking again to put pressure onto this bottom lane. We already see, the tier 2 tower has gone down. It's been taken away. There's only the tier 1 and the tier 2 that are outer, map towers here for the side of HYDRA. And I don't know how long this tier 1's going to last either, though. Kami is going to be seen under vision, so they can engage if they want to. The pounce comes in, but almost immediately the Astral comes out, the Ice Path, the Macro Pyre, the Sanity's Eclipse, and that's going to be Kami going down. Warwick not going to be too far behind now as well. The Freezing Field for Happy, not going to be super effective. They do get the kill onto the Rubik, but now the Crippling Fear comes out, and it looks like he should be able to get the kill. Yeah, one more right that comes through. The Meteor Hammer now as well. They clean up both supports, even the tips being thrown out here from HellRaisers.
It's just so hard to play the Slark versus an OD, right? It's next to impossible. You go in your ulti half HP and he just crushes you with the Sanity's Eclipse because you just don't have that big of a mana pool. You don't have that much of a intelligence gain. 1.7 per level. That is on the lower end, right? So it is it is very, very tough, if not impossible, to play it. And HellRaisers just showcase again just how much more powerful they are in this game.
Yeah, and the Night Stalker now, he's got the BKB up, going towards the Blink Dagger now as well. 13k net worth in 22 minutes. This is a great pace for the Night Stalker. You've got Kami that's still trying to move himself out and find the farm, but seems like every time he does move out, you look at the ward on the map there as well, just outside of the the high ground from the Radiant base. If we take a look on the top lane, so they're going to see the move out. It will be dewarded now, but it's already seen Kami moving himself out. The creeps are going to see him anyway, so they know HellRaisers, if they are looking for this free farm, where they need to be going to get it before they look for the next fight.
They're just spreading out a little bit. Ideally, HellRaisers would love to get the towers on top, but those are not easy to get. That's why you see them invading the triangle. But after they won that fight, they felt like they could go high ground. So that's why they didn't really overtake the part of the map. So that's the first little thing I'm not the biggest fan of. I feel like even taking down the tier 1 on top significantly reduces Hydra's chances of defending the next Roche, which is pretty much the only time in this game they'll be able to somewhat come back into it. If it's a free Roche or a really good fight for HellRaisers and the Roche, for the next one, they just instantly win the game off of that one.
Yeah, and we'll see here Kiyotaka rotating with Ramses. Ramses even gets himself that illusion rune just to get a couple more copies on the map. He'll push out, maybe go into the jungle, find some farm here. Lefyton trying to do his best to push out the lanes, but again, 4 heroes, all 4 moving down, and even the hero not too far away if he needs to group up with the rest of HellRaisers. So the nighttime comes in. Ramses going to be slowed down by the solar bind. Lefyton, though, the crippling fear is going to be there. And can he get himself away? I really don't think so, as the solar bind was off. One more right click, and Ramses is just absolutely cleaning up.
He loves winning, but he is not going to be doing that in this game. And Ramses is not done. He sees everything.
Oh, the TP in, the jump onto the Crystal Maiden. Yeah, Ramses a godlike spree here. Does he actually get himself onto Cammy? There is going to be the Tornado to come through onto the Night Stalker. Night Stalker, can he get himself away? He's using that BKB, getting himself away. What am I talking about? He gets himself in and gets the kill onto Warwick.
Yeah, but look at the base. The thing is, they were chasing down the entire Hydra team, and during that time, they were destroying the tower in the mid lane with Antares and Kiyotaka, and very much sad that Hydra didn't get that Rubik kill in the previous fight, because we could have a little bit of fun in the chat there, but now that's just not going to be happening.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, the defense fortification will be used here as Ramses, though. He just wants to carry on pushing in, and yeah, at this point, really, is there any way for Hydra? They have to wait for the Lycan as well as the Invoker to come back up. So it looks like they are going to be losing at least one lane of racks again. They can't go towards the top lane on the side of HellRaisers because there is no Tier 1, Tier 2 being taken down. The backdoor protection kicking in on the melee racks as well. So they do need to wait for this next creep wave. Tornado. Do they get the catch out onto... No, Antares with the Force Staff, and he's going to be away.
He does have the chakra magic as well, so his mana is not gonna suffer all that much. Yeah, Hydra. I think they have one more fight left in them for them to call this one. They're just trying to you know, wear out HellRaisers. If you did watch the Simpsons episode when Homer boxes, right? So maybe not in this one, but if they get tired, maybe we can win in the next one.
Yeah, that's it. They're gonna try and extend this game to like 70 minutes, you know, so HellRaisers, they're just knackered coming into game number 2, and that's when Hydra pounce. You know, that's where they get themselves into it. But for now, we take a look at the graphs. Everything is crashing down the way of HellRaisers, and yeah, I think we're getting to Butch and Sundance time here for the side of Hydra in game number 1.
Radiant's middle barracks
It's looking quite tough. And Ramses, he gets the tower, and now he's chasing onto the Slark. Run, Slark.
He will be away here, Cammy. Or I say that. Where's that Blink Dagger as well for Ramses? It's off cooldown, but he's not going to go the right direction. So it looks like at least this time Hydra will be able to get themselves away. The D-Ward comes out for Ramses, though, carrying that gem. Wants to go towards the Basher. And if he's getting the gold for it with all these D-Wards.
Yeah, he's like... protect your vision. Oh, you don't want to? No problem. He's still getting a ton of gold from it. And this kind of reminded me of the old Night Stalker with an Aghanims that would just give the unobstructed vision, and then you would just go around the map, warding everything. That's pretty much what Ramses just did.
Yeah, and again, the Basher, they might be able to get the jump off now as well. He gets the jump onto the Crystal Maiden, the Force Staff comes out happy though. They get the Solar Bind down, they got the lockdown, they did it with the Ice Path onto the Lycan, and Ramses with the BKB, he continues, he wants to go for the fights, he wants to go for the supports, he's just targeting them left, right, and center now. Cammy getting himself down to low ground, no, because there's going to be a path blocker here from Mero, so he's trying to go for that pounce. He does actually find the direction, gets himself back up to the high ground here, as the chase down onto the Lycan, the Hunter becomes the hunted. And it looks like they're just going to call it GG. Yeah, 4-23 here. Might even be 4-24. Cloud, can he go down quick enough? As HellRaisers so clean in this execution of game number 1.
I don't know. This is looking scary. HellRaisers, and you can see from their faces, they understand how well they're playing. They are very happy, you know, not ecstatic, jumping around, but you can see that they are aware that they're one of the top dogs of the region now. You know, they're gonna be top 2, probably, and maybe even top 1 if they continue playing like this. Spirit, they're gonna have a tough opponent ahead. So I'm loving how they're playing Dota. I thought this was gonna be a close series, but HellRaisers, they're just crushing it.
Yeah, HYDRA, we've seen, the series that we've seen HYDRA play before today, up against the likes of Team Spirit. There is that ability to get a giant killer scalp under your belt. But in this one, HellRaisers is not underestimating HYDRA. They played this game clean. They respected the ability of HYDRA, but they just had the execution, ways above HYDRA, and showing why HellRaisers potentially now, like you say, going to be one of those major qualifying teams. And HYDRA, they are still looking like a solid team in Division 1, but just in this first game, HellRaisers had the number and we're just able to run them over.
Yeah, well, it is when someone plays perfect Dota, right? It's very tough when they're not missing their spells, when they're rotating perfectly every single time. No matter how good you are, even the best teams will crumble. HYDRA, they need some time to get to that best team territory, right? So again, a team that is in such good form as HellRaisers, they didn't stand a chance.
No, and there is still going to be, they still have the game up against... Oh, no, yeah, they do.
This is
I was
still
looking at the
not
wrong team.
over. It's only
yeah,
game
no,
number 1,
absolutely,
Rob,
yeah. So they have the game against, the second game coming up against HellRaisers, where they might be able to turn it on. They might be able to show the quality that they did. The forced Spirit to I think we went to like a 60-minute game in game number 3, something like that, where they were, back and forth. So if they can show this HYDRA, they could push this to a game number 3, but HellRaisers, 23-4, it's a bit of a definite score here in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this game and you're like, where it went wrong. We got absolutely crushed in the laning phase. You need to focus, right? Focus and do everything right. Don't allow yourself to be outplayed and start from there. If you can get yourself a even game to begin with from like minute 10, 15, then you might actually have a shot to show what you got.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well on the scoreboard before we go to the break. HellRaisers even doing HYDRA a favor. That both supports on the side of HYDRA had that the Philosopher's Stone, so it looks like they did get the snatch off, but still not enough to catch up. Yeah, guys, this is going to be game number 1 of HYDRA versus HellRaisers. HellRaisers looking pretty comfortable, but again, HYDRA, they have that ability. They can get it if they get themselves a good draft, get themselves a good start to get themselves through game number 2, force it to a game number 3. We'll find out how it's going to go after this break.